Hello, this is Blindboy Boatclub and I'm an artist from Ireland. And I have a special message for all the artists who are taking part in the St. Patrick's Festival 2021. And I'm going to be giving you these messages every day over the next few days. So being mentally healthy is a crucial part of my creative process. I create when I'm happy, so I look after my happiness so that I can create. And then that creates happiness. What I'd like to talk about today is failure. If I'm scared of failing, then I simply won't create. The act of creating becomes a scary thing, and it becomes a painful thing, and it becomes something I don't want to do. And when I'm scared of failing, I procrastinate. Conquering the fear of failure is something I have to work on a daily basis. So how I go about it is, first, I try and identify why I'm scared of failure. Why am I so terrified of failing as an artist? Why, when I think about it, when I fantasize about what if today my work will be shit? Or what if I create something and when I create this, other people will reject it and think that it's bad? Why does that feel so crushing and terrifying to me? Chances are it's because I've allowed my identity and my sense of self-esteem to become dependent upon how good or bad I am as an artist. When I was a kid, I wasn't very good at school. I wasn't good at school, I wasn't academic. But what I was good at was drawing, painting, making songs. So when I did these things as a child, the adults around me would give me praise. And I would internalize this praise as self-praise. I would feel like a good person when I created art because the adults were going, wow, that's fantastic, and I internalize that praise. But now as an adult, I have to be mindful that I don't internalize that praise. I can't allow my self-esteem and my self-worth to depend upon how good one of my short stories is or how good one of my songs is. I need to be able to allow myself to write a bad short story or a bad song and to have the emotional intelligence and emotional maturity for that not to define my worth as a human being. And step one to that is just simply bringing that into my awareness. I say to myself, my worth as a human being doesn't depend upon how good or bad I am as an artist. I'm a human being and I have intrinsic worth. And I'm no better than anybody else and nobody else is better than me, because you can't evaluate humans against each other like that. And also, no aspect of my behaviour defines my worth as a human being. So if I do, let's just say I write a good short story this morning and I'm really happy with it, and I'm dead happy, and it ticks all the boxes that I consider to be a good piece of work. I can't then allow myself to feel better as a human because I just say to myself, I did a good piece of work today. But that doesn't mean I'm a good person today. Similarly, if I write a bad piece of work this morning and I don't like it, I won't self-flagellate. I won't feel like a failure. I won't allow myself to hurt because I made bad art. I just remind myself these are just aspects of my behaviour and they don't define my worth as a human being. Also, what I do to overcome the fear of failure, I actively invite it into my creative process. If failure is the thing I fear, why don't I bring it in? I bring the failure into the room. So if I'm writing a short story, when I'm frightened, I'll become stifled and I'll start to think to myself, what's a good idea? What's a good idea? And you know, if you start thinking what's a good idea, you'll never get a good idea, because creativity happens when you're free and playful and having fun. So what I'll do is I'll say, what's a shit idea? And I will begin to write something which I consider to be bad, silly and stupid. I've invited failure in by beginning my creative process with an idea I consider to be a failure. And that act often, like bringing in silliness, silly things, playful things, ideas that you would shut down as being ridiculous, bring them in. Start off your project with that and play with it and have fun and see where it goes. And when I do that, often at the end of my creative session, I'll find that I've actually done some good work. So that's my message for today. If you find yourself afraid of failure, ask yourself, does your self-esteem and identity depend upon you viewing yourself as a good artist or other people seeing you as a good artist. Similarly, think of something you don't care about. For me, it's something like cooking. I enjoy cooking, but if I make a bad meal, I'm not going to self-flagellate over it. I'm just going to say, I burnt some sausages today, so what? I had a shitty dinner. I'll do better tomorrow. That's a really healthy attitude. But if I defined my self-worth and identity around how good I am at cooking sausages, then I'd burn the sausages and spend the rest of the day calling myself a piece of shit. And you can't do that. But I would do it if it was a short story. And what's the difference between sausages and a short story? Nothing really. They're just aspects of my behaviour, and they don't define my worth as a human being. Yart.